We're live.
That's the intro graphic that we're eventually.
That's the intro graphic.
Yeah, it
Oh,
basically
gosh.
sounds like an old time news broadcast. Like I'm Walter Cronkite, but just not talented or informed or, you know.
So
You know.
Alex Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. Turn of the freaking frogs gay. Aliens, gay aliens everywhere.
So
Not my best Alex Jones, honestly. Not my best.
I'm here to date your sister.
That's a good one.
FBI, open up.
That was a good Alex Jones. I'm not shitting you. That was a fucking decent Alex Jones.
Admittedly, I've never actually watched Alex Jones.
I mean, if you really, really want to giggle, I mean, if you really want to lean into a hard laugh, he'll do it for you. He'll do it. He's so adorable. He's so adorable. He is like an angry Muppet of a man.
An angry Muppet of a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like watching Fozzie Bear get pissed off. I mean, he's so cute. And, you know, and the theories are just, I mean, they're just, in terms of sheer lunacy, idiocy, and creativity, I mean, amazing. Amazing. I mean, he's a piece of shit, but I tip my hat to that piece of shit.
Okay. So speaking of jokes, I got a joke for you, Kevin.
Oh, fuck. All right. It's
All
your
right.
airtime, pal.
Yeah. What's the difference between an enzyme and a hormone?
Enzyme and a hormone. I don't know.
You can't hear an enzyme.
I just got that. It took a few seconds. It took a few seconds, and then I got it. Hormone.
I'm not even laughing at my own joke. I'm just laughing at how you take it.
It took a while. It took like longer than a joke rightfully should take to get into the cranium and process. It was longer than that. But when it hit, sweet fire. Sweet fire.
Yeah, that's my joke for the week.
Well, fucking A. Fucking A. Welcome.
Yes.
Anyone to our second live stream in as many weeks. It is a wonderful Saturday night. We are 2 days post Thanksgiving. By the way, Brad, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. Went to my in-laws, had a good dinner. It was quiet. It was relaxing.
Yeah.
Headed home. I don't remember if I took a nap or not.
Well, that had to have been the most eventful part of your Thanksgiving. You should have led with that. Well, first and foremost, man, I had a fucking sick nap.
I'm not that old yet.
No, but you ought to start leaning into those now. Those will be coming fewer and far between.
Well, I know that, but I mean, I've always had a good record of staying up.
Yeah, I know.
In the wee hours.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I still get random ass texts from you at like 3 a.m. I wake up to them. I'm like, the fuck are you doing?
Well, I mean, if I have a thought or if I'm like, holy shit, I got to tell Kevin, or I find like a funny picture, I'm like, shit, got to send that to Kevin.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I am medicated enough that if you wake me up, I'm going right back out. No worries.
That's fair.
No worries.
Fair.
No worries.
Yeah,
dude,
you? How was your Thanksgiving?
Weird. Just weird.
Weird.
You know, wearing masks and
well, yeah.
You know, we stayed outside a lot more than we were inside. Mostly because like my grandmother was there and she's in her 90s. So, you know, I felt like the mask wasn't adequate. I was like, man, I should have brought a hazmat suit. Shit.
Damn it. I miss Grandma Mangold.
Dude, yeah. And she's like, dude, it's crazy. Like at her age, just how sharp she is, man. It's nuts. It's nuts. Like I hope to age that gracefully.
Look
but
at us, Kevin. We're not aging gracefully at all.
No, I'm 32, and there are moments where I look like I'm 52. I mean, just look at the lines. I mean, it looks like
a 5 head going on there.
Dude, it looks like the Nazca lines in Peru. Like there's an aerial spider somewhere around here. It's not good. I don't think I'm going to age well. Like
I don't think either of us are, honestly.
Dude, my theory is that by 45, I'm probably going to look like a worn out old leather handbag. Like Paul Hogan in Flipper, if you remember that one. Yeah. Yeah. Like when I turn my head, you're going to hear crinkling noises.
I don't think we'll go that badly.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's not. It's not looking up. It's not looking up. But yeah, beyond that, we stayed outside a lot. It was cool hanging with my family, and I ate my body weight in pie, which was nice. I like I at
I
the
did the same thing to this stuff called dump cake.
What the fuck is a dump cake?
It's something that my mother-in-law makes, and she puts it in a slow cooker. And it's basically it's you buy like the spice. It's like a spice cake mix.
Okay.
And you just buy that. You put that and apples, and then you mix it together, and you leave it in the crock pot.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow.
It makes this delicious, like cinnamony apple cake mixture. You throw some fucking vanilla ice cream on top of that bitch, and it's delicious.
That sounds amazing. Why did you tell me that? Now I've got a food boner. Like, dude, at the house, at my parents' house, I had 2 slices of pumpkin, 2 slices of apple, right? Then I came home, had another, admittedly large slice of pumpkin. And then because I took a whole apple pie home with me.
Jesus.
I ate half that bitch on my own.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I literally stuffed myself full of pie.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, but coincidentally had an awesome bench day the next day. It couldn't have been the 7-pound bloat baby I was trucking around.
Bloat baby.
Yeah, dude. There's like, dude, when you eat clean all the time and then you binge on some like garbage, the amount of water you retain is ridiculous. Like, that's why I call it a bloat baby, because I'll wake up the day after a bit of food fuckery and I'll weigh 7-8 pounds heavier than I did before, and I feel every fucking pound of that. But it led to a pretty sweet bench day, so no complaints. Nice. Overall, yeah, pretty good Thanksgiving as far as Thanksgivings go. I'm not really into the holiday that much. Really not. Well, it's just not like, it's not the holiday for a food neophobic, right? Like, I've tried turkey. I don't care for it. I find it bland and uninteresting.
See, I'm the same way. I actually prefer ham.
Yeah, see, my mom is such a sweetheart, and she does me a solid every year. Every Thanksgiving, she makes me some of her fried chicken. And it is to die for. Like, it is coma inducing. It is so good. So I ate like 2 pieces of that there with probably the nation's largest serving of mashed potatoes. It was not an advisable amount of mashed potatoes to consume.
That's fair.
And then I went home with like 3 more pieces of that shit, and I took it down that night. Well, okay, like realistically, I'm not going to eat that later because of the being strict with the food. So I might as well just do it now. Just get it out of the way now. And I did, and it was lovely. God, that fried chicken is amazing. But yeah, I mean, it's just Thanksgiving's never really been one of my favorite holidays.
I can see that.
I mean, clearly, if you look at the background here, Thanksgiving is just a placeholder before Christmas. That's all it is. Yeah. So yeah, we've already decked out the house. We got a head start on it last weekend. Yeah, if you've never seen me shimmy up a 28-foot extension ladder, well, you missed out. Yeah, I did man things. Okay.
I know you told me earlier you actually set foot in a Home Depot.
Yes. Okay. I had a man moment at Home Depot. I had
Only
a man moment, which
Only
they don't happen often within the confines of a hardware store, right? It's not common that I go into a hardware store and I don't feel emasculated. Backstory. I do not know how to use these hands for anything other than killing bugs and making the musics. I am not useful in household repairs, chores, anything of that nature. So going into a Home Depot is about as pointless as you can get with me. You know, I'm like, that vaguely looks like a drill, but it might be something totally different. So anyway, yesterday we went to go get our tree, right? And, you know, we were shucking the tree around, and first and foremost, I was able to just throw that bitch up on the roof of the car pretty much, you know, one-handed, which was nice. It's a tree, and it's not anything heavy, but just the fact that you can just one-hand that thing up there. And then I was able to help lash it down to the roof, because they don't lash it on the roof for you anymore. I was able to help did not do it all by myself. Our friend Leslie jumped in and definitely finished the job in a more secure fashion. Being a Boy Scout, I should have not had that much trouble lashing that thing. If I had retained any of the useful information from the Scouts, aside from religion being shoved down my throat and possible fondling,
I was going to say that.
Yeah. I should have at least remembered how to lash like a half-decent square knot. And
what's the fucking Deadpool reference? Scoutmaster
Kevin? No, Kevin, Scoutmaster Kevin. Yeah, Scoutmaster Kevin. Which, yeah, that hit differently. Seeing it in the theaters, I was like, "Fuck!" I was in the Scouts. There's a lot of indoctrination. A lot of it. Well, we met at Cornerstone Church, so yeah, you do the math. You know, we hung our hat in the same building as John Hagee. Anywho, yeah, that was my man moment. And then, I was able to shimmy up a ladder and hang Christmas lights and stuff. And I didn't burn anything down. Everything's working, presumably, to the best of my knowledge. Even my wife was like, I'm really impressed with you. I'm like, yeah, because I did something correct once. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, hey now. So anywho, catching up aside,
yeah,
we are here to continue this interesting series of discussing themes in Star Wars and how it impacts our personal lives. And tonight, as you might be able to very well tell from the title of the stream, is hope. Which I've been like racking my brain around this since we did the last show. Because hope is, I have a very complicated relationship with hope. What about you?
No, I definitely have a complicated relationship with hope. I mean, sometimes it's hard, really hard. I mean, especially with with everything we talked about the last episode, with trying to find balance in our lives, and it's been difficult for the two of us to find said balance.
Absolutely.
But I mean, with the lives that we've led, I mean, it can be difficult to find hope.
Yeah. Like that's the thing I struggle with, is because in my nature, I'm very much a cynical person. I'm a very cynical individual. So hope is a thing that is fleeting, and it's not anchored to anything very secure with me. Like, for example, some people might be able to derive a sense of hope from, say, like their religious beliefs. I'm a very secular person, so I don't have that kind of faith. Yeah. Any faith I do have has to be placed in people, and people are fallible and they will fail you, right? So again, it's just not, my sense of hope is not tethered to anything concrete, right? Like, I mean, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's from Solo, trust no one, and no one, you will never be disappointed.
Yeah, that's a really poignant it's a really poignant pull right there. Well done. That was well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, when your hope is in people, or your faith is in people, and that's where you derive your hope for the future from, when they fail or when they don't live up to the standard you've placed on them.
Yeah.
I mean, that does a number on your sense of hope and optimism. It does a pretty fucking strong number on it. Which I think to some extent we've all had to have been there, not just in the broader context of our lives at any one given point, but I mean, just this last year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how many times this year, just in the last 200, 300 some odd days, have you found it hard to hold on to that hope that the future is going to be okay? Oh, yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the moment that, I really started to think about everything that was going on and the fact that, we're about to have a baby girl and everything, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is what I'm bringing this kid into? Like, what kind of, I'm already making mistakes as a fucking parent. What the hell? I mean, it's, especially once I found out that I was going to be a father. I mean, I've looked at everything and I'm like, how I looked at everything with the question on my mind of how can I give this little girl the best life she can?
Yeah.
Or the best life that I can. I mean, how do I not damage this child and like fuck her up for the rest of her life,
Yeah.
And like, oh God, it's not even so much me I have to worry about. It's just everything else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, you know, you bring up the point of bringing a kid into this, you know, this environment we live in, this time we're living through. You know, I think the thing to focus on in that point is like, you can't fix any of that.
Yeah.
You can't affect any of that. But what you can affect is how that kid interacts with it.
Yeah.
Right. Through your example. You know, it's kind of weird. Like the hope you have to have in the future has to be placed on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So ultimately, the faith is going to have to be in the fact that you know
what the hell I'm doing.
Well, I mean, okay. So my mom said something very poignant about parenthood, and she said that you're going to fuck something up. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. You know, I mean, no one bats 1,000 in parenthood. Period. You know, you ultimately just have to have the faith that it's all going to work out, because your intentions are not, you're not setting out with the intention of like, how hard can I fuck this kid up? Like, you know, no one sets out with that. Well, I shouldn't say no one. You're not setting out with that intention, you know, but that's another layer of complexity to it, is the fact that, you know, I admittedly, most of my focus is a little more insular, because, you know, I don't have a kid on the way. Yeah. You've got this now different layer of consideration. You know, it's not only about figuring out how do you hold on to your own personal hope, but how do you be the thing that gives hope to someone else?
Yeah.
Right. Like that's some heavy shit that you're going to have to tackle. You know, it's
failure. The best teacher is.
Well, yeah. And I think that's that, dude, seriously though.
Yeah.
Like, I think that the fear of failure is what prevents us from taking the steps necessary to accomplish what needs to be accomplished sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's afraid of fucking up because, you know, there's shame attached to screwing something up. There's guilt attached to screwing something up, all highly negative emotions that we do everything we can to not interact with.
Oh yeah.
But like, you know, being willing to jump into something knowing you might fail, but doing it anyway. I mean, that's courage. Right? Yeah. And if there's one attribute that might get your daughter through the world that we are laying out, it's courage. Right? Courage to be who she is. Courage to trust her judgment that you have instilled in her. Right? Like, all of that, you know. How did this turn into me sounding hopeful? What the actual fuck? Like, don't listen to me. You're getting your advice from a cynic. Don't.
Well, I mean, you're giving a friend advice and everything. So I mean, you're not talking about you're not talking about having hope. You're talking about maintaining hope. You're talking about I mean, it's just one of those things.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, what did Leia say? Hope is like the sun. If you only believe in it when you can see something like that, if you only believe it when you see it, you'll never make it through the night.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. I'm pretty sure I fucking butchered that.
The timing on it, but I think the words are accurate.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. But like, I mean, it's one of those things, man. Like, you gotta keep the faith. And I think that, you know, failing having faith in people, the only thing you're left with is to have faith in yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Which is a whole other can of worms. Right. You know, like again, like, being a very cynical person, I also tend to have a pretty negative self-opinion that I carry around with me, a chip on the shoulder, if you will. And, you know, it can be a fine line between, you know, how hard do you be on yourself to keep yourself sharp and keep yourself from getting complacent, and then when does that cross the line into just a low self-opinion?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's something I kind of teeter-totter with, you know, just being the cynical self that I am.
Yeah.
You know, I just tied myself into a knot on that one. Holy shit.
Yeah. But I mean, for me, it's, you know, there's not, we're both talking about being cynics and how, like, you know, people can let you down and everything. I mean, people can also lift you up. I mean,
True.
if we really asked ourselves the questions, would we be where we are, or how far along we are without our wives with us?
Fair point. No,
I mean,
that's a simple fucking answer. Hard no.
I mean, before I moved out here, I was 21. No, I was 20, living with my mom. Wasn't doing anything with my life. I slept late. I was wasting away in depression and shit. Came out here to be with my my wife. She was my girlfriend then. And I mean, I didn't lose hope that I had found a girl who would touch my penis.
That's right.
And then she reached out and she took 2 handfuls and she said, "Get her, that'll do, pig."
Yeah, suck it, incels. Involuntary celibates are not a thing. They're not a thing. That's not a thing. Like, maybe you're just a jerk, right? Like,
let's see.
Oh, did Leslie drop a comment?
My favorite Hope quote is, "Hope is the thing with feathers that perches on the soul. It sings the song without the words, never stops at all."
I mean, yeah, I love quotes like that because I read them and I'm like, fuck, I wish I thought like that. Right?
You wish you weren't a cynic?
Yeah. I mean, like, look, here's a prime example, and I'm not gonna get too deep into the weeds with this, but on election, when the election was decided and we figured out that Joe Biden won the election, I was not one of those people that was like, fucking like that. That wasn't me. I was relieved that it was over. I was relieved that I felt the right person won. But my first thought was like, all right, now we fight, because I don't expect anything earth shattering out of this. I don't expect any of the things that I believe in to be progressed forward very much. I don't think that's going to happen. But that's the point, right? The fact that, like, I was immediately like, well, nothing fundamentally is going to change. That's the cynical part, right? When there were people that had legitimate hope that, hey, man, maybe this is possible. Maybe this is possible. And I'm just like, nah, no. Like, demonstrate to me what you've seen in the last decade that tells you that that's possible,
Yeah.
And that's kind of immediately where my brain tends to go with these things. And I wish it was the other way around. I wish I could think in the more optimistic frame of mind, and think like, hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul. I wish I could like fundamentally connect with something like that, other than like, oh man, I wish I thought like that. That's beautiful. Because it is.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, yeah, but that also goes back to like the outside influence that things have on us, where we are. I want to say it's a lot of like what you can say about hope goes back to like the old, like an argument about nurture versus nature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I've always said that it's both. It's a mixture of the two that really make you who you are, and it affects how you are. Like, no matter what point you are in your life, it doesn't matter if you're growing and developing or if you're already grown and you've already got an outlook on things.
Mm-hmm.
Nurture, it's what your environment is around you, and it's the people that you interact with, and it's who nurtures you, what nature is around you. Yeah. You really have it's all influences will determine who and how you are.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that the process of the nurturing side of it never ends.
No.
I think that as human beings, we all should be striving to make progress on the things that aren't doing us any favors, right? And being able to identify those things. Like for me, it would be, maybe I can train myself to be less cynical. Maybe, I've managed to train myself to do all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
And, chasing that progress, I think is fundamental. I think it's fundamental. And then you're right. The people around you are going to influence that nurturing process. Like I wouldn't be able to do, a quarter of the things that I do without my wife back behind me saying, go do it.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how many ideas I throw at her? Like in a given month?
Well, I mean, just for the podcast alone, a lot.
Yeah, like I throw all kinds of stuff at her,
yeah.
and her first response is like, "Yeah, that sounds amazing. Do it." You know what I mean? She rarely ever says don't do something, and when she does say something like that, there's a purpose behind it. Either she's keeping me from doing something really stupid, or I'm like having a manic episode, and you're like, you're fucking losing your mind, dude. Like that's what's going on. You're not going to be an astronaut, you know. One of those things.
I mean, to be fair though, I did show up and worm my way in, and then tell you, yes, we're going to podcast.
Well, yeah, like that's a very good point, because I have a lot of ideas. I tend to have a lot of ideas that ruminate in my head, and I understand that I cannot do them all on my own. Yeah. And I'm honestly not a person that works well solo. I tend to work well, within the construct of a unit, of a team. Being in a band, being a member of this, doing this podcast with somebody like you, having someone to kind of vibe off of and throw stuff off. I tend to work better in that environment. And I always tend to find like-minded individuals and people that are on a very similar wavelength, there's a reason that we don't have any friction. There's a fucking reason behind that. We don't have any friction going on here. Things just work seamlessly. And that's not by accident. I mean, case in point, here we are talking about hope, and we had generally the same perspective on it. That like, yeah, we're fucking cynical shits. We have a hard time with hope. Evidence that there's a reason this entity is working in the way it is.
Yeah, and I mean, I've even being cynical and everything. I mean, it's not something that's forever, and it's not something that it's not something you choose, but it is something that you work on.
Right.
I mean, like even after I moved out here, even after I had married the wonderful wife that I have now, and after I've made all this progress, I have a job, I have a license, I've been losing weight, everything's turning up, like everything's been good, but I mean, I really wasn't getting out of cynicism.
Right.
And I mean, I think a big part of that was me and my wife have been trying for the last 6 years to try and get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it is daunting. It is disheartening at times. But when your wife slaps you awake and throws pregnancy tests on your chest and tells you, "Am I saying what you're saying?" What? And then I look and I see those two lines. I mean, it's definitely turned some things around for me. It's definitely, I don't think I'm nearly as cynical as I used to be.
Yeah, and I could imagine how it's going to be difficult to be cynical, right? Because I mean, in a few short weeks, you're going to be able to see the face of your daughter, and I mean, how could you not be optimistic about the future, right? Look at the face of that kid. I mean, that's your future. You're looking at your future right there.
Oh my God. I have a friend who I do D&D with, and they sent me a package, and the package was a little onesie, and it's dragon scales, and it's got a fabric spine on the hood and down the back.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, dude. I mean, like you might very well be looking at like a wellspring of hope. Yeah. Because you're going to get that shot in the arm every day, man.
Oh yeah.
You're going to get that shot in the arm every day. And I think that, people finding the thing that gives them the shot in the arm is important too.
Yeah.
Especially if you're wired kind of like we are, where it's like, the default position is just nah, right?
My wife likes to call me the Grinch.
Yeah. I mean, it's apt. It's apt. It's a matter of like, having that thing in your life that constantly gives you the shot in the arm, whether it's, you're going to be able to look at the face of your kid every day. Or, something like, as banal as training is for me, it is that it's the thing that helps to keep the ship on the right trajectory. But then I've got other influences like my wife, who kind of helps keep me in a
straight and narrow.
Kind of, because like, I think she's the direct antidote to my negative self-opinion, and how hard I am on myself. She's the one that's always trying to prop me up while I'm over here trying to just tear it down. So those things like that, those influences are what keeps the hope, burning, I guess. I guess if I'd use the flame analogy, you know, and now I'm starting to think about like, okay, well, what's
spark of hope that will ignite the rebellion?
I mean, yeah, and I'm thinking about that. Like, I'm thinking about in the context of Star Wars, like, you know, it's very similar there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's moments where Star Wars gets really dark and really bleak, and you don't see a way out. And it's always
a Skywalker comes out of nowhere.
Always a fucking Skywalker, man. Swear to God. We thought we were rid of him, but no.
But now we have Grogu.
Oh man, you know what's funny is,
or is it Grogu or Grogu?
It's Grogu.
Grogu. Okay, I got it right.
By any objective measure, we should be talking about the Mandalorian tonight.
We gotta wait.
I know, like I mean, it would
make
it would make absolute sense in terms of like, do we want people to watch this shit? Do we want our views to go up? We should be talking about the Mandalorian. I hate talking about something that's not complete.
Yeah.
You know? Having said that fucking episode though, good God. Good God.
Talking about that fucking episode. Disney, what happened to 45-minute episodes? The fuck, bro?
I know. I mean, just give us an hour. Just do it. Face, neck, and chest. Give me the hour. But yeah.
Smother me.
Yeah. I mean, dude.
Don't talk about it.
I know, and I was just about to make a connection.
Don't.
I was just about to make a connection.
Off limits.
But I had a connection.
No.
I had a connection. But okay, but it's not Monday, so we can't talk spoilers. It's not Monday yet. We can't talk spoilers. It's kind of the unwritten rule, and we're going to abide by it because we don't want to shit on anyone's good time.
Yeah.
I mean, think about a character. You know what I am thinking about, though? I'm thinking about The Last Jedi.
Okay.
I'm thinking about The Last Jedi. I'm thinking about the moment right before projection Luke walks into that room and Leia's like, the spark has gone out. Mm-hmm. You know, she's at the low moment. You know, do you think at that moment Leia had given up hope?
I think so. You know, she's always talked about hope and having it, and she's been fighting. She fought the Empire with all the hope she had, and now she's fighting the First Order with all the hope she has. She's already lost her husband.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say baby daddy, but I'd say husband. I think they were married.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then her son is part of the First Order that is causing all of this death and destruction, and it has to weigh on her.
Yeah.
She's been fighting for so long. I mean, even when what was it, after the Empire, didn't the Senate say that they didn't want her to be a senator or some shit like that? Like the New Republic?
No, she voluntarily left to start up she voluntarily left to start the resistance. But it's just because it was she saw what was going on. She saw the writing on the wall well before anyone else did.
Well, yeah.
I need to read Bloodline again. I know it's there, but it's locked away. But I mean, I like the fact that she lost hope. If we're going to agree on the fact that in that moment, in that minuscule moment, it was gone. I like that because
until Big Brother came back.
Yeah, until Luke saunters his fucking projection ass in there.
Do you think she knew he was a projection? She had to have, right?
I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that confidently. I really don't
but
know.
I mean, it doesn't. Well, I mean, I think we talked about this before when The Last Jedi first came out, and we said no, probably not. But now that we know that she was trained in the use of the Force as a Jedi,
mm-hmm. I mean, personally, I knew something was up in the movie theater because of that fucking dye job on his hair. I mean,
the dye job, and then didn't he have his hand back?
No, it was still gloved, but like, come on.
And the lightsaber was his green one.
Yeah, I love.
No, it was the blue one.
It was the blue. It was his daddy's saber. I love Mark Hamill, and I love his portrayal of Luke in The Last Jedi. I thought it was brilliant, but that fucking dye job on his hair was fucking criminal.
Yeah,
like you could have spot that a mile away.
They wanted to go hardcore into he's younger.
Yeah, I know. They had to find some kind of device that would let us know, hey, something's amiss. Yeah, I know. But you know, for a minute there though, for just a microsecond. I was like, huh, I guess they've got Just for Men.
Yeah.
I thought that was a galactic thing. They had Just for Men.
No, and
he just had it in his X-Wing just in case, like a break in case of emergencies. You need to look fucking young and dashing again.
Oh god.
I mean, Leia is a character that is defined by hope. I mean, how many graphics do you see with Leia and hope, right? She's kind of the character that is the most synonymous with that theme.
Yeah.
And it does comfort me to know that, okay, she did lose hope in that minute. Well, thank goodness, because that just means Leia is just like the rest of us.
She's human.
Yeah, she's just like the rest of us. And,
she's a human who can survive the vacuum of space.
Fuck yeah, she can. And you know who else did it? Kanan. More connections.
Did he?
Yep. Season 3 of Rebels, I believe. He pulled himself in from the vacuum of space just like Leia did. Yeah. Star Wars. Fucking everything rhymes and shit. Everyone knows the line.
No, I can't talk about that. Never mind.
Oh my god, where are you going with this?
Mandalorian.
Nope, we can't. We cannot touch it. We are literally working against our own interest here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, yes we are. Yes we are. But that
well,
show.
I have hope for next Friday.
I mean, don't we all? Don't we all? I mean, isn't that the one thing that we're all just holding on to desperately here? Is that like, fuck, man, just make it to Friday. Just make it to Friday. And again, it's just so nice to get some new stuff. It's just nice. But I'm trying to think, like, I mean, and you see that quite a bit in Star Wars, is characters do lose hope. Luke lost hope in the Force, in his own abilities, his own place. He lost faith. He lost hope in the Jedi. He lost hope in the future. He literally went to some deserted, impossible to find planet to die. I mean, Vader loses hope.
That's how it becomes Vader.
I mean, yeah, and then then there's a lesson there too, in terms of, like, there's a point at which if your sense of hope gets torpedoed to that level, then, man, maybe there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
You can become so beaten down by certain things that they own you at that point. It's an interesting thing. That's an interesting concept to think about, especially in the context of like being bipolar, because, if you're in the midst of a very severe depression, and I mean severe, it's really hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It is really hard to hold on to that. And it's like, it's a constant reminding yourself of the fact that this does not last forever. Right.
Yeah.
I remember the last severe one I had, it was, it was a matter of constantly reminding myself, this doesn't last forever. It can't, right? It cannot last forever. It will break, and you're going to walk through the other side of it. And it was then sometimes, man, it was like staying up all night, just laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and just constantly reminding myself of that. It was like the only thing that I could hold on to. I mean, so I empathize with that. I empathize with the characters that have lost it. Because I get it. I mean, if you scratch the surface of that, you understand.
Oh yeah.
You understand, and that's why I think ultimately trying to maintain some sense of hope is incredibly important, because sometimes, man, that's the only thing that allows you to survive. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's so crucial. It's so crucial because I think, and it's interesting in the sense that we're the only species that has a name for that kind of feeling of optimism, or that feeling of looking towards something, of a better day. It's crazy that in a universe that seems so random and scattershot, that we as a species have this concept of like optimism for the future.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Am I getting a little too meta?
No, you're fine.
It's just, a dog doesn't have that sense of optimism. A dog is just like what's right in front of my face, I mean, consequently, it's probably why they'd make the worst conversationalists. But I mean, it's so weird.
Because Pod eats everything.
Yeah, pretty much. He's getting marginally better. Marginally. He's a 9-month-old puppy.
Yeah.
And he's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, he's huge. And he does not know how huge he is. And
those
even
are the best dogs.
Yeah, I mean, even at 9 years old or 9 months old, he's still such a puppy. Mm-hmm. It's like 3 modes: play, shit, and eat. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think a dog his size, he won't like actually grow out of being a puppy until after his first year.
Yep. And believe me, we are all eagerly awaiting the day where he becomes just that much more manageable. Because you cannot take your eyes off him for a second. Thankfully, fingers crossed, we've had no incidents with the Christmas tree.
Just wait for it.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Oddly enough, the cat was the first one to try to do anything to the tree, and
it's the cat.
We set her straight, real fast.
I was going to say, you had that problem the first year with Winnie.
Oh man, when she was a kitten, she was a goddamn terror. She was a terror, and she was temperamental. She would just be like, "Fuck this glass, fuck this base."
Not to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, you were the first person to like tame that house tiger, and I was like, "What the hell?" She never does that with me.
She didn't have a choice with me. I got really big hands full of covered in calluses,
dude. Consequently, Winnie is one of my. She's amazing now because she doesn't fuck with anybody. She doesn't bother anybody. She just sleeps all day, does her thing. That's it.
That's her very independent. That's why it's nice to have him.
Yeah. I mean, I will never get another cat. I will never get another cat. I will not get rid of my cat. I love her, and I will have her until the day she passes.
See, the cat I was holding a second ago, that was going to be my one and only cat.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 3 others.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're weak. You're weak, and you let it happen.
I did not let it happen. I said no every time. Every time I said no.
Not a very emphatic no, I see.
I mean...
Dude, I'll never get another cat. I will never get another cat. Miranda will never get another cat. We are dog people. We are dog people. You know, I just having dogs around is the best. So it wouldn't surprise me in like maybe another 9 months if we go get another pup. It wouldn't surprise me. You know.
Well, you have the house space for it now.
Not for long. It's quickly running out. It's quickly running out. I mean, Fives takes up an inordinate amount of space on the bed. Like he really does. He really does.
It's just dogs in general.
But I respect him. I respect him because he has the decency to sleep right up here between us and not at our feet where he's like yanking blanket away from me. But you know, there are moments where I wake up and it's like 60 pounds of dog is just like right there, and I'm like,
that's when you just hug him and give him a kiss.
Oh, I do. But you got to be careful with Fives because if you give him too much, he thinks it's playtime, and then he steps on your nuts, and then it's not a great morning.
No,
it's just not a great morning.
Been there, done that.
But I have hope that he will mellow out in a few months, and he will stop trying to consume everything in his path.
Stop climbing me, you little shithead.
Oh, yeah. I tried to say no as the cat's climbing you.
Well, this is the same cat that I was holding a second ago.
I know. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. That's your house tiger. That's your house tiger.
This is the original house tiger.
Cats are fucking crazy, dude. Cats are fucking crazy.
She loves me.
Cats are fucking nuts. Okay. So I'm trying to think about where this conversation needs to go next. You know?
I mean, do we really have anywhere else for it to go?
I mean, I think...
Okay, you know what? What do you hope for in the future, Kevin?
Fuck.
What do you hope for in the future?
More awesome Star Wars content if we want to stay on the superficial level. I am extremely hopeful for Star Wars. As an IP, I'm extremely hopeful of what's coming down the pipeline. I think we as fans are in for a big old helping of awesome. Now, where I struggle is hope in the Star Wars fandom. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of BS divisions and just silliness. When this should be the one thing that connects all of the disparate parts that make up this fandom. We're all bound and connected by that one thing. Now, it might be to varying degrees or another. You might have some people who love it for different reasons or enjoy it for different reasons or are a little more critical than this person would be. And I think we tend to lose sight of the fact that all of those expressions of fandom, as different as they may be, they all stem from the same wellspring, and that is an appreciation and a love of this wacky space opera thing that keeps drawing us back after 40 years. I mean, any given moment, you might be having a conversation with someone who's been into this shit for 40 years, and they might be having a conversation with someone who's been in it for 4 months.
Yeah.
The love of it is the same. Regardless of the time spent here, it's the same. Regardless of the circumstances to which they found themselves in it, it's the same. And I see people losing sight of that. And that makes it tough. Now, maybe it is probably important to acknowledge that it is viewed through a very specific lens provided by a social media platform, which is not necessarily indicative of reality. But it's the platform we have. And I wish I could be more hopeful about that, because I want to be.
Yeah.
Like, I want to believe that the fandom can kind of rise above any of the pettiness and any of the surface level things, and we can just recognize that everybody belongs, everybody loves it, and that's the important shit. That's the thing that keeps us. That is our force. It is the thing that binds us. So I want to be more hopeful about that. In my personal life, I just hope. I want to hope that I look at every day as an opportunity to work on the things that I suck at. Every day needs to be an opportunity to suck less. Every day needs to be an opportunity to be a better man, a better husband, and a better fucking human being. And part of that very well may be cultivating that sense of optimism and that sense of hope, you know? What about you?
I mean, all I can hope for, honestly, is to be a good husband to my wife and a good father to my daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my focus right now, honestly. It's I'm looking to, while with the baby home, I'm thinking about going back to school, maybe do some of that. I mean, it's honestly, I've always, we talked about, being cynics and everything. Honestly, the way I've always been is I'm along for the ride. It's whatever I got to do, I got to do. I mean, I'm going to do it because it needs to get done. But I mean, as far as everything else goes, it's like whatever happens, happens. But at this point, like, my focus has certainly shifted on I'm taking care of my wife, taking care of my daughter.
Yeah.
I've got a family to watch after now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's as daunting as it no doubt is. It's got to be daunting as shit. But, I have to commend you on the ease with which you are accepting this, and the ease with which you are plodding forward with the right mindset. It's admirable. It's fucking admirable. And it's kind of cool because the amount of perspective shift that you're going to be looking at in the next 18 fucking years of your life, is really interesting, because I personally value those things that come into your life that switch your perspective, that grow you a little bit. You know, whether it's kids on the way, or career opportunities, or picking up a new hobby that you're really interested in, anything that is going to make you a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. You know, I really value those things. You know, I really, really value those things, because I think that if you're not trying to improve yourself so that you can be better for the people around you, what the fuck are you doing? Like time, you can't buy time. You can't go run to the store and get more time. You've got now. You've got right fucking now. That's it. You know, you don't get yesterday. Tomorrow ain't fucking promised to you. You got right the fuck now. And, you know, I'm excited for you, because you've got nothing but days ahead of you of, like, I mean, your life is going to radically change, but for the fucking better. And that's a good thing, you know, and maybe that is something to anchor that hope to. Maybe that's something to anchor that hope to, that no matter what the world's going to throw at us, and it's not done throwing shit at us. It's never fucking done. No matter what it throws at you, you are going to be on the daily better equipped to handle it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's awesome. I mean, fuck, it's giving me hope. Shitbag.
I'll share the love. Your Uncle Kevin.
I mean, dude, I promise you right now, I have a hard time talking to kids as if they're kids. I'm very bad at that. I tend to talk at kids when they're 25.
Yeah.
You know, so your daughter is going to be.
Just don't teach her anything bad, and we'll be fine.
I am not responsible for whatever she repeats. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, you are.
I take no responsibility for it.
Are you kidding me? No, because the moment I accidentally let a fuck slip, and then I hear in my daughter's vicinity just fuck, I'm gonna be like, oh god.
Yeah.
And when I'm talking to her mom, I'm talking to her mom about it, and she's gonna be like, where in the hell did she learn that from? And she's gonna give me a pointed look, and I'll be like, Kevin might have stopped by.
No, she's not gonna believe that. Now, if your daughter walks up to you and says you have cunt lips, clearly Uncle Kevin showed her that one. That was true. But I still take no responsibility for it.
You absolutely should, you rat bastard.
Nope. I am just showing her the more colorful side of vocabulary. Oh, okay. That's all.
I feel like your wife would slap the shit out of you for that.
Oh, God, yeah, dude. She hates it when I let shit slip like that, dude. Case in point, we were in Breckenridge, Colorado, and we had taken a ski lift to the summit of this, or near the summit of this mountain. Mm-hmm. And I was on Instagram, and I made a snide comment about rich white people, and she heard me. And for the briefest moment of that Instagram story, you can hear her go, Kevin! Dude, I never think about it before. It's just bleh,
That's why we're good at casting.
I just say shit and I don't think about it. And she's she's so afraid that someone's gonna hear it. And I'm like, I didn't say anything incorrect in that specific scenario. We were literally surrounded by a bunch of rich white people. Only rich white people hang out on the side of a mountain at a resort. It's only a rich white people thing. So I was not.
I don't even do that because I'm one of the smart white people who knows that that's a perfect place for people to get murdered.
Yeah.
I'll fuck with that.
I mean, they're beautiful though. The mountains, not the rich white people. The mountains.
They're very deadly.
Oh, yeah.
Not because of nature though.
Yeah.
It's because you're up there with a bunch of rich white people, and rich white people are mentally unstable.
Valid. Here's the rub. Why don't any of those mountain roads have guardrails? If anyone that lives in the vicinity of a mountain can tell me, I'm all ears.
That's why.
Say what?
Because Team Extreme. That's why.
Dude, we were driving up mountains, and I'm like, there should be a guardrail here. Why am I looking down? It was genuinely unnerving. Genuinely unnerving. But I had hope that Leslie, our trusty pilot on that trip, would carry me safely up and down those mountains, and she did. She did, because she's a fucking boss. Anyway, man. I gotta say, I'm genuinely enjoying where these conversations are going.
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying this. So what do we got coming up next time?
Next time we have Acts of Redemption.
Acts of Redemption. That should be interesting. And I hope everyone out there is kind of enjoying these odd personal conversations in the broader context of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's as fun as it is to talk about the newest episode of The Mandalorian or a film or a character, as fun as that is, I'm really enjoying exploring why this connects in the way it does. Clearly, I think for us being relatively cynical people, having something like Star Wars that hinges on keeping the hope, keeping the faith that tomorrow's a better day. I think that's important for people like us to have.
Oh yeah.
We need to have examples of okay, no, it's not all doom and gloom. It's not all falling apart underneath your feet. You can be the change. You can be the hope. You can hold on to it. And I think that's incredibly valuable to, schmucks like us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, how many times have we been in, a shit slump in life? Bad day, bad month, bad fucking year. And, we lean on this to carry us through it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about Fridays. When you wake up on fucking Friday and, say you wake up a few hours before you have to get up and go to work. What's your first fucking thought?
Well, Mandalorian. I mean, to be fair, I would say Mandalorian, but to be fair, I wake up, take my wife to work. I'll come home and I'll be like, I'm tired. I'll go to bed, and I'll wake up and I'll have 30 minutes before I got to leave for work. And as I get ready, I'll put Mandalorian on.
Hell yeah.
I'll be late for work because I'm going to finish watching it.
Fuck it. Right. I mean, come on. We go to sleep Thursday night hoping to wake up so we can watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And then when you get that fresh content, you get that new episode, or you put on your favorite episode of Star Wars, your favorite movie, your favorite whatever, you play your favorite game, and it's just the shot in the arm. Mm-hmm. It's just what you needed. Because maybe, just maybe, it allowed you to forget about the fucking swirling hurricane of horseshit that is our world or your personal life or whatever bullshit you had to endure that day. For that 2.5 hours, doesn't fucking matter. For that 2.5 hours, you can hold on to the hope that tomorrow's a better day. You can hold on to a sense of optimism. And you can hold on to the idea that good triumphs over evil. In a fucking complicated world, being able to hold on to that single tenet, I mean, that is something that Star Wars has given us.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to wax poetically about it, but I mean, clearly this means something to us aside from just having, badass decorations on a Christmas tree or, anything like that. It means something. We're here for a reason.
Yeah.
Anywho. What do you say? We're going to bring this bird in for a landing?
Yeah, let's bring it in for a landing.
All right. First off, I want to thank everybody who showed up to watch the live stream tonight. I want to thank everybody who shows up later to watch it at their own convenience. All of you are appreciated. We genuinely appreciate the support that we get. This is a labor of love, and we're going to continue to do it because apparently some people vibe on it. I can't do anything about that, so we're just going to keep fucking giving it to you. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for all your support. We greatly appreciate it. We want to thank the Red 5 Network for their continued and unwavering support. So we want you guys to go over to red5network.com and get your fill of all of the amazing podcasts that we have to offer. We've got Red Squadron, Gold Squadron, Best Squadron, and Blue Squadron now. There's nothing but awesome content and genuine people that just want to put good stuff out there. And then, we don't have any other fucking sponsors. I mean, buy stuff, I guess. I don't know. Buy a shirt. Go to our TeePublic store that's still there.
Oh.
I mean, we've got stuff. It's there.
Yeah, we got stickers. We had more shirts, but they took one down.
We only have one sticker now.
Now? What the fuck happened?
Disney might have taken down the galaxy's okayest Jedi sticker.
What?
In their defense, there is an effigy of me as Yoda smoking from a bong.
That's true. Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, that was taken down by Disney, so well played, Disney, I guess. We got t-shirts and shit. Got the Mighty Morphin Force Losers shirt. We got a logo shirt. And we got a sticker and stuff. I mean,
sticker.
Yeah, I mean, you put it on your body and you wear it outside, and you're like, yeah, this is a podcast I listen to. They're okay. Or you slap that.
You can't tell people they're the world's okayest podcast.
I mean,
not anymore.
Well, no, you can still say that. You just can't call us the world's okayest, the galaxy's okayest Jedi. But we're definitely the world's okayest podcast.
We're not Jedi at all, Kevin.
Nope. I am not to be trusted with any kind of metaphysical connection to an energy source that can be manipulated through your emotions. Yeah, not a good idea. Anywho, buy our stuff. Guess I don't know. Thank you guys again. Brad, where can they find you?
They can find me on the Force Losers Facebook page. Other than that, you can find me on Instagram at the Intrepid Co-host.
Nice.
And then you can also find me on Xbox Live, Grenadier117.
Right on. You guys
can find you, Kevin?
You can find me on Twitter. It's right there. It's right there. At right. Force_losers. It's right there. Right in there. Boop. You can find me at Twitter at Force_losers. If you're talking to the Force Losers on Twitter, it's me. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. You can also find me on Instagram at HeavyKevvyHKT. It has increasingly just become a training log for me. So it's the same shit. If it's Saturday, I'm squatting. If it's Sunday, I'm bench pressing. If it's Monday, I'm overhead pressing. It's pretty fucking predictable. But if you're into things you can't unsee, and you want to see a not so fat dude on the struggle bus to Gaintown, I guess. I had to throw that in there. End with a cringe. End with a cringe. End with a cringe. Go give it a go give the old Instagram a follow if that floats your fucking boat. Beyond that, you guys can find us on the red5network.com. I already said that. So let's just fucking end this thing before I fucking make a bigger fool of myself. Ready?
All right, ready.
All right, here we go. A wanna and a two and a three. Later, bitches.